Welcome to MCW Everyday Victory. That's Everyday Victory for Modern Christian Women. This is our very first podcast. Visit the website at mcwwisdom.com. Let's get started with Lisa McClendon. Hey now, the message is stop co-signing. You definitely want to hear it. Let's go.
Today is a new day. Forget about the drama from yesterday. Frustration don't pay. So cast all the negative things away. See, everything got lighter after I prayed. And I said, God, just go ahead, do your thing. Cause I'm not the same woman I was yesterday. No, feel real good today. This is the day that the Lord has made. Put a smile on my face and know that everything's gonna be okay. I'm gonna sing my song, keep it rockin' till the break of dawn. There's a time to laugh and a time to cry, a time to be born and a time to die. There's a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to tear it all down and a time to build. But right now I'm gonna laugh myself to life, live life to the fullest cause I'm feeling alright. And I'm not gonna cry tonight, but I'm gonna change my shoes and dance tonight. Feel real good today, this is the day that the Lord has made. Put a smile on my face and know that everything's gonna be okay. I'm gonna sing my song, keep it rockin' till the break of dawn. Feel real good today, this is the day that the Lord has made. Put a smile on my face and know that everything's gonna be okay. I'm gonna sing my song, keep it rockin' till the break of dawn. Keep those laughs coming, keep that dance coming, keep that singing coming, keep that party coming, oh. Real good today, this is the day that the Lord has made. Put a smile on my face and know that everything's gonna be okay. I'll sing my song, keep it rockin' till the break of dawn.
Hey now, you cannot feel bad listening to that song. You've got a Sean Hampton. I was about to say a Sean Rochelle. This is the MCW Everyday Victory podcast. That's Everyday Victory for modern Christian women, especially single women. So I used to be on radio as a Sean Rochelle, and my show was Neo Soul Rhythms, and you can still find my podcast for Neo Soul Rhythms. So that's why I'm incorporating some great groovy, inspirational Neo Soul music to get us started before the message. So as I said, this is my very first official podcast for MCW, and I tell you, it has been a long time coming, but the message today is stop co-signing. Stop co-signing. And here's where I got that from. I am currently working in automobile collections. Yeah, that's a whole other story. But my job is to get people to pay their past due car notes. How about that? So this one particular story stood out to me because a young lady, it sounded like a young lady, maybe in her early 20s, around 23 years old or so, had to call her because the car note was about 2 or 3 notes past due. She was the co-signer on the loan. And a guy's name was a main buyer on the loan. So when I called her, she said, you know what? I just co-signed for that guy and I'm not paying for the car. I don't have the car. I don't drive the car. I'm not going to pay for it. I did it to help him out. And so then she began to tell me the story. She met this young man at church and they started to date for a little bit. And she decided to help him out. Now, they were not dating for very long. She said it was maybe a month or two before she co signed on this car loan for him. So she really didn't know him. She did it to help him out. And so now the car note is behind and she's getting all of these credit calls. She said, I know my credit is shot. I know it's ruined, but this is just going to have to be a lesson learned for me. His car note, believe it or not, was less than $200. It was about $159. So how could he have gotten three notes behind on an amount that small? And she even said he's not paying anything for the car. Basically, she said, I wish I could have gotten a car note with such a low payment. Now, let's stick a pin in that. Based on her credit, the strength of her credit, he was able to get a car note for less than $200 a month, whereas she was paying more than that for her own car. And it wasn't like a used, beat up car. It was a fairly recent, decent car. All right. So she said, I know my credit is bad. I can't find him. I haven't talked to him in about 6 months. He has not called me back. I have tried to get in touch with his parents, who also went to the same church. She said the parents won't let me know where he is. She said I even tried to get my parents to talk to his parents to see if they would tell me where he is so that I can get my name off of this loan. She wanted to rewrite the loan to finance it in his name only. Well, can you see what the problem with that might be? If he had to get her to co-sign, that means his credit is probably not strong enough to take the loan on his own. So this poor young lady was wrapped up with this loan because she thought she was just helping a guy out, helping him get on his feet. But no, when you co-sign, listen to this. When you co-sign, you take on full responsibility for that loan. That means the person who's getting the car is fully responsible for that loan. And that means that you as the co-signer is fully responsible for that loan. So I had to explain to her, well, I understand your situation, but we keep calling you because you have co-signed on this loan. That means you are equally responsible. And as you already mentioned, your credit is being equally affected. And she said, oh, I know. Well, you know what? You all are just going to have to pick that car up. And I know that a repo is going to look really bad on my credit report, but I don't care because I am not paying for that car. Like I said, this is just a lesson learned, a lesson I'm just going to have to take because I am absolutely not paying for that car. And so we had to end the call because she was absolutely not going to pay. Now, how many of you all, including myself, have had to get a cosigner for something in the past? Yes, I had to get my mom to co-sign for me on a car loan recently. And when I lost my job and got behind, guess what she had to do? Pay on my behalf. That's right. So if the person you have co-signed for cannot pay, then you have to pay. And we're going somewhere with this because there is a holy message in this, is it not? Yes, if the person on the loan cannot pay, then you have to pay. So that is why you should avoid co-signing for people, particularly people you don't really know.